The week here at Lake Tahoe has officially started. It has started because Mike was just peeing next to Ray Allen.
Oh,
That's
no
how
way.
you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know Tahoe has started.
Got to readjust the old top 5.
I'm so jealous.
He's in there
That's
now.
incredible.
What, top 5 people you
Yeah.
pee next to?
Yeah.
You have a top 5?
Yeah, Zach Thomas is sliding down it now.
He's a Hall of Famer, Zach.
Yeah, well, so was Ray Allen.
Yep.
Yeah. Man.
Biggest shot in NBA history?
Yeah.
That I missed because I left?
I did want to say, hey, Game 6. Forever.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. He was peeing. It's just a protocol that you follow.
Right. Now, who was there first? Was it you or Ray, or how did that happen?
I was there first.
You were?
Yeah, I
So
was
he
there
walked
first.
up next to you.
Yeah.
So if you walked in and Ray was already peeing, like midstream.
No, there's no way that I don't subscribe to bathroom chatter. I don't want anyone
But
talking
would
to me
you
in the
have gone to
bathroom.
the
I mean,
urinal
that's fair.
next to Ray?
Scott, you have a booger in your left nostril.
So does Clooney.
You look, yeah. It's a big one.
Let me see. Is it out?
Yeah. Well, I think you just push it up.
I did.
Yeah, you look comfy.
Tahoe has started.
This place is great.
I want to hear Mike's top 5 list of people that he's peed next
I got to
to.
revisit it.
Who is the most famous person, Jeremy, you have peed next to? Do you know?
Oh, man. The most famous person I've peed next to is probably just one of our – I've peed next to Eric Reed. That's probably the most famous person I've peed next to. I've peed next to Dan LeBatard. How
You got
about
some
that?
living to do, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is it. My top 5 list will be created this week.
Right.
That's my plan.
Okay. So you're not going to give us a top 5, Mike? You have to think
Well,
about it?
because I don't want to betray the old top 5 that I did on the show. I know Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys
Yep.
was on there.
Right.
Zach Thomas was on there.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Yeah. Come back to me. Come back to
We'll
me.
come back
We'll
to
make
you.
it happen.
Yeah.
We were having a lame discussion. Are you bringing me a tissue? Is that what?
Nice.
A tissue
You
is
just
being
got to
brought
push
me.
the tissue
I'm gonna
back.
shove it- no, I'm gonna shove the tissue
Yeah.
back.
There you go.
We got to pause for a moment.
Is it out?
You're foul. Stugotz was very proud of himself because he went for a run this
40
morning.
minutes. I can
gotta-
still do it.
That's pretty impressive.
The altitude is tough. Jeremy and I walked
Oh.
back to the hotel, and I was just like, wow, maybe there was something to that NBA Finals.
I was huffing and puffing just walking back to the hotel uphill ever so slightly.
Guys, it's a real thing. Why are you like questioning altitude?
We're 7,000 feet in the air. This is taller than a mile high.
I know.
Do you know how many feet are in a mile?
Nope. Do you?
Yeah, 5,800.
280?
Yeah,
Right?
5280.
That's right.
Yeah, you
right?
bail me out.
Someone
They
please
have it
do
in the
math.
key. They have it in the
Uh-huh.
key at the whatever they call it. Is it the Ball Arena now? It's not the Pepsi Center anymore. No, I digress. This is not good
So why is it called a Mile High Club? I mean,
because your airplanes are.
yeah, but it's way more than a mile.
It is more. Yeah. Mhm.
We were having a very lame discussion about because there's a bunch of pictures here. Jeremy's very excited about
I don't know
it.
why you're calling this a lame discussion.
Well, it's kind of lame, but Jeremy is excited not for Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or any of the NFL players are here, or any of the other NBA stars that are here besides Ray Allen. He's
And
a
there's some-
former NBA star. He's excited for the pitchers
Yep.
because there were a bunch of pitchers here. The first year me and Mike came here, Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox were all here, I believe. Yeah.
I wasn't here that year.
What
That
I
was
wouldn't
the first
give.
year you were here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't come with me that year. That's
No,
right.
no. This is just my second time.
So
but-
we've been discussing Game for Your Life because I want
Mm-hmm.
to ask these guys, like, if we have David Wells on, and we had him on last year.
Right.
Great interview. Probably the best interview that we had last year.
Probably, yeah. But Beckett or Clemens, Game for Your Life. And Jeremy has not stopped ever since I brought up Game for Your Life. Who would you take? And he is convinced, and I think Mike is too, that Josh Beckett, who is here this week,
Yep.
is the greatest postseason pitcher of all time.
No, of the available field, I'd go
Right.
Mad Bum.
Really?
I'd go Madison Bumgarner.
Okay.
Because Mad Bum also had those iconic performances where he was hitting home runs in his
Yeah.
starts as well. But
He won Sportsman of the Year, Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah.
I think there's a weird qualification here, and you almost have to be disappointing in the regular season,
Right.
Because your numbers have to be that much quantifiably better in the postseason.
Right.
And the other names, like we rattled off like 10 Yankees, and they were on great teams, and they all had good numbers. They assembled a great staff, but was there a huge discrepancy in the regular season numbers as opposed to the postseason? Maybe for Pettit, but I mean Beckett, he rose to the occasion.
Yep.
Mad Bum, they rose to the occasion. Those two guys,
They were
'cause
also good in the regular season, though.
but they were so much better in the postseason.
But they didn't have
I mean,
to
Beckett was
be-
legendary. You're right.
Those guys didn't necessarily have to be the number one pitchers on their staff to get to the postseason, though. You know,
Right.
we talk about Mussina and his postseason numbers, David Wells, argue maybe compilers. Maybe postseason compilers. You get to the postseason that often.
When Wells is sitting down, when Boomer is sitting down next to
God.
us, say it to his face.
Tell David Wells that I think he's a postseason compiler because Clemens got him there.
I am begging you, and I am guaranteeing you that when he is sitting here, you will not
I won't
say
do
that
it.
to him. Right.
All right.
But I'm here
we'll
for
place
you,
the
so
bet.
you can say it and be fine. You'll be
That's
okay.
what's going to help.
Yeah.
David Wells, I think, would readily admit that you're playing a different game when the first 3 batters they're facing are like Bernie Williams, Jeter, and Soriano,
Right.
and you got a 3-run cushion in the top of the third. It allows you to pitch a little bit differently.
I think postseason he was like 10-5 with a 3+ ERA, which is pretty much what David Wells does in the regular season
For the Yankees, yeah.
For the
for the Yankees. But he had some legendary games. He was
He
an
did.
I think he was the ALCS MVP.
He was. Look at that
Right.
recall from
Yep.
Stugotz
I just remembered
there.
you saying it. a
Yep,
couple
just
minutes
that-
ago.
yeah,
Immaculate,
5 minutes before we
Immaculate
started.
Grid, Immaculate Grid has turned everyone into like the greatest Trivial Pursuit players.
We're all remembering
Yeah.
these names from years past that we haven't
I'm
thought
just
about.
filing things away now. Like John Lieber, All-Star Cubs. I see him in an All-Star game. I just throw it in the back of my mind, and I stash that for the next Immaculate
You remember
Grid.
every
Did you
team
do the
Jeff
grid
Nelson
today?
ever played
Did you do
for.
today's grid?
I did the grid today, yeah. They're going to be different every day. Earlier this week, though, when Sports Reference, who just acquired Immaculate
Yep.
Grid, a great acquisition because now you can actually see after you finish playing how many eligible answers there were.
Finally. I
So-
didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
so there was a question: Dodgers with 200 hits in a season, and I burned through 2 of them, thinking Man Ram, right? No, but he walked too much. He didn't count. In fact, if you look
I
at
wanna
his
try to guess.
career,
Hold on a second. Steve Garvey.
I believe Garvey's. Yeah,
Wow, that's a good guess.
yeah.
Right.
You know what was shocking to me? That Piazza did it one year. He had
For the
201
Dodgers?
for the Dodgers.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I settled in on Jackie Robinson. But Mookie Betts, he did it for the Red Sox. He's going to do it this year for the Dodgers.
Right.
But he's not an eligible answer. So I burned through Man Ram and Mookie Betts and no longer Immaculate. That's going to be the new lame, like Boris with your fantasy team talk is going to be Boris with your Immaculate Grid.
Correct.
talk.
And I'm glad we're doing it here.
Yeah. I mean,
For
it's
the
still
audience,
early.
Right.
It's still early in the week. Not much going on outside of Andrew Whitworth driving by, complimenting our very cushy
Inflatable couch.
inflatable couch.
You
Oh,
say
Would this, be
there's
the
a
same,
not-
would this be the same couch we would have if Dan were here? I mean,
we'd have to double up on the electrical tape.
but he's on vacation again. I mean, this guy is just.
I would love to
He's
sit.
going to run out of vacation days. I mean,
I would love to sit Jeremy on one end of the inflatable couch, welcome in Andrew Whitworth,
have him
and see Jeremy land in the
fly
lake.
over like a slingshot.
You say there's not that much going on, but I feel like there's been a couple of huge storylines thus far in being in Tahoe. We found out that there is a foot fondler on the loose here in Tahoe. Which
Rex
I
Ryan,
didn't know-
huh?
He's not playing
I
this.
guess
Yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't-
Sexy
He
Rexy.
didn't get the invite to the tournament, so he's been going
Yeah,
around.
I mean, it's actually a pretty
Fondling
No, this
feet.
is actually kind of a crazy
it's
story.
a terrifying
Yeah,
story.
it's actually
there have been a
horrifying.
couple of women that have woken up to a shadowy figure just fondling their feet and disappearing.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all this.
There's no
I mean, that's
description
plenty,
yet
but
of this character.
it's just a shadowy figure.
That's been in their hotel rooms fondling their feet. This was about a week ago, and the foot fondler is still on the loose. So, not great news.
There's also an escaped inmate on the loose, and
but that's it. That's
I
in
feel like there's
California.
a-
Oh wait, we're
but
also
we're-
kind of in
you
California.
walk across the street, you're in
It's
California.
incredibly
Right.
confusing to
It's-
me that that's the
yeah.
case.
Well, it's amazing. You're on one corner and you can gamble, and then you cross the street and you can't gamble anymore.
Right.
It's like the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah, the state lines.
Wait, so that guy is in California?
I mean, he could be anywhere right now.
I guess he could.
The foot fondler or the escaped inmate. What if they're the same person?
It could be the same person.
There's
the
no
timing of
way
it is
it's the same.
suspicious.
You think that guy is risky? He's been in prison. He got out of prison, and he said to himself, "This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up to Lake Tahoe, go to people's hotel rooms, play with their feet, and then leave."
Well,
No.
generally- Well, I mean, you're applying a lot of logic to a
Right.
It's inmate. It's an escaped inmate.
An escaped inmate showing good judgment.
Well,
That's what you have.
I mean, listen, he's dodged the police thus far. He's doing pretty good.
Well, I've
Rex
also
Ryan
really
would have
been.
been a great joke
Yeah,
if you were
Rex-
playing though.
Rex was perfect.
Would have been
Yeah.
perfect. I've really been
Well, what do
blown
you mean we
away.
got it in?
But if you were in the field, like that's it. We found our man.
I've been blown away with just what this clubhouse is like because the napkins that they give away. Lewis earlier in the week blew his nose into a napkin that I swear to you could be a pocket square.
It's a pocket square.
It's
I wish I did.
They
legitimately-
have pocket square napkins.
Yeah, it's
here at
incredible.
Edgewood.
This is a level of luxury that I never would have expected. I actually legitimately I have one in my wallet right now that I'm saving to bring home and I don't know if I'll use it as a pocket square, but it's a nice memory.
Can I use it right now?
I guess you might need
Stuff
it
that
more
in
than
your
I
nose.
do. Can always go back and get another.
Yeah, it's still there.
I don't know.
It's still there. You see it?
I don't.
You can
quite-
follow along
I
this
don't
entire
quite see
journey
it.
for the rest of the week. All
This
our
is-
coverage
this is what
from
Tahoe's all
Edgewood
about,
here in
yeah.
Lake Tahoe is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
Look at you.
Epic razors, epically affordable, available in stores and online. I've committed that to memory.
It's pretty amazing. It's epic.
Well, it's Dollar Shave Club. I am a customer, and I did use a Dollar Shave Club razor this morning.
Right. Why are you committing it to memory? Just say Dollar Shave Club.
Because
Affordable
I don't wanna-
razors delivered right to
Although
your
I got
house.
the Sunner shades on right now, I could probably glance and get away with it.
I mean,
don't
Dollar
like-
Shave Club's been with us forever. They're fantastic.
They need to know that it comes from the heart with me, that I've committed it to memory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And another thing that you guys should do
But it
is
just comes
check
off the
out
top of your
American
head. I mean,
the American Century Championship. It's live on Peacock all weekend long.
good for you.
Live on NBC for 3.5 hours. Expanded coverage on Saturday and Sunday. Completely live. They used to do this thing on tape delay, but this has become a big ratings juggernaut for NBC Sports. So they're giving it the proper attention.
So I just spoke to our friend Nick Mike, who works for NBC and is really the reason that we're here every year.
Yeah, and Dollar Shave Club.
And Dollar Shave Club, of
course.
course. Accenture and everyone else. And,
Yeah.
Harvey's. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Brought to you
digital,
by Harvey.
the digital craft stable at
Yeah.
Harrah's. My man Lewis knows all about that.
But so I have confirmed that I am indeed caddying on Friday for Golick. We have the first tee time, 7:45 in the morning.
Okay.
Here is the threesome. Okay. Golick, Mike Vrabel, and Ray Romano.
Oh,
my
my God.
This is perfect.
And Golick's going to be so excited because he wanted to play with Ray.
Wait, that's weird because it kind of looks like a Pokemon evolution of the same character. Ray Romano in a Golick into Vrabel.
Ray Romano hit
really
Chris
do.
Cody.
It's like Ray
First
Romano
tee,
got
he
out.
hit him. He hit him.
It's like Ray Romano fell in the Ninja Turtle ooze and he came out Mike Vrabel.
I did ask Nick if I could put signs on my back that say, like, every hole I'll change up the sign. First hole, I should be playing instead of Golick. Like something like that. Nick said no.
Yeah.
I worry that your jokes are going to make the uber competitive Mike Vrabel lose his mind.
Yeah.
Or cut off his penis. Welcome back. It's our coverage from.
What?
Why is that?
I think I'm going to make that my
consistently-
thing.
I don't. But
I
you're
I
calling
tease it on
our audience.
Yeah. Are you
He
familiar?
did it on social media too.
Audience, I'm sorry.
I got to heal the audience. I'm learning from the Miz that's out here. Just got to heal the audience.
Okay,
Sure.
by calling him.
That's how I rationalize, like, okay, well, if I try to be mean to them and they're mean back to me, at least I'm getting the reaction that I want,
Right.
which is actually kind of like the whole bit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't get it.
Oh,
Welcome back.
Doing a bit.
It's our coverage live from Edgewood Golf Resort here at the American Century Championship. I'm a real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'll know if you meet me. But also, don't ever meet me. I don't want pictures or anybody
He
around
really
me.
doesn't.
I have firsthand experience with that actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, in 2018, I went to college game day at UCF when you were there to give the national championship trophy
Yeah?
to the university, and I came up.
There's a lot of
all
variables.
Excited.
There's a lot of variables.
ton of
here, so why
variables
I would
going
be-
in,
Do you?
but a lot of variables.
You
but
approached
came up,
him?
approached Mike
Right.
with names.
Big fan
in
of the show,
holster.
you're
Not only a big
excited,
fan of the
right?
show,
Yeah.
names in the holster of people I know have worked on the show, worked
Mhm.
with the show.
Mhm.
And I would say Mike was probably less than enthused to be shaking my hand.
Really?
Uh,
Oh, I'm
good-
sorry to
good
hear
5
that.
years ago.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sorry
all
to
right.
hear that because
Sorry to hear what? That you're a.
yeah, well, like if I can break if I can break kayfabe right now, like genuinely, like if you meet me, I've said like no one's ever really had a bad experience with me in person, and Jeremy's the first person to actually
Yeah,
like, tell me a
mediocre
bad
experience.
one.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a bad experience.
Yeah, there was a
You know.
lot going on there. You guys
Yeah.
were having your moment back then.
Still
right.
having a moment.
Welcome back. It's our coverage from the American Century Championship out here in Lake Tahoe. It's all brought to you by Dollar Shave Club, Epic Razors, epically affordable. Find them in stores or online. We're very thankful that they actually helped get us out here
Yeah.
because it's, it's not the easiest sell job to just, hey, can you fund Stugotz's vacation while he chums it up with Aaron Rodgers in Tahoe for a week?
Well, I just did. I mean, I hugged my quarterback, and my quarterback hugged me back.
Stugotz was
Really?
in peak Stugotz form out at the driving range.
I am not certain Jeremy's ever witnessed me in all my glory, just doing what I do, which is just walking right up to people on the driving range and acting like they're my best friends. But go ahead, you tell Mike the story.
Well, it's great. We were having a conversation.
And tell the story. too.
Right, tell the of course. Thank you. we were standing out on the driving range, myself, Cynthia, Lewis, trying to figure out are we going to wrangle some celebrities? Are we going to be able to Google image search and make sure that we're not saying the wrong names? And then Stugotz walks up from behind us and just walks right into the driving range, chumming it up with everybody, hanging out with Marty Fish. Hey, buddy, what's going on? And immediately he's turned into every other celebrity that's there, chumming it up, acting like, of course, they must know who he is. And yet, I know that in this circumstance with Aaron Rodgers did know who Stu was.
He did.
He very much knew who Stu was, and
at
he
me.
knew he was his quarterback.
He looked at me, turned back to Marty, and then turned back to me, and he was like, "Hey," and I go, "Hey," and he goes, "Hey," and I go, "Hey," and then we hugged, and we all know what the haze meant. I mean, that guy's my quarterback, and we take mushrooms. I mean, it's real. He's coming on tomorrow, by the way.
That's incredible.
Yes. So is David Wells.
Yeah.
I just booked the whole show for us, right on the driving range.
That's
today.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably going to be God Bless Football because I'm a reputed. And so is Dan, and you guys both had interactions. You with Aaron Rodgers, and you with somebody else, where you guys had to pay for our down payments.
Well, speaking of you guys,
well, hold on. You get to that.
Okay.
The key to my sell to Rodgers was no Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. That I said, listen, you're going to come right there.
No Dan, no Mike.
We're going to talk Jets.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk shrooms. We're going to talk what kind of incredible road trip I've been on, which he was actually asking me many, many questions about. And I said, and here's my promise to you, no Dan. And so he said, we're good. So then when we walked away, I said, all right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun today. He's going to have to play around. He said, hey, Stu. No Dan, right?
Well, speaking of guys wanting that scenario, a noted, we'll call rival of the show.
I feel bad about this one.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry,
He's a
who
very nice man.
not only very nice man, Kyle and I have a decent relationship, and he walked on to the driving range, and I made sure to go say hello. Oh, hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Oh, nice to see you here, Kyle. Really great that you're out at this tournament. Yeah, I play it every year. All right, cool. Well, I'm out here for the first time. I'm out here with the Dan LeBatard Show, and the audio that came out of his mouth was, So I think I'm in the middle of the stage, Stu, of now having to do the pitch that you did, which is going back to Kyle Lowry and saying, no, you don't have to worry about Dan. You don't have to worry about Mike.
Right.
It'll be me. It'll be Stu.
Yes.
Be a little God Bless basketball.
Perfect.
We'll hang out.
Yes.
We'll chum it up. He'll
Yes.
be great. He's
That's
someone who clearly takes his golf very seriously.
He does. He's actually pretty good. But you say
Yeah.
that's what you do. You say, Kyle, we started. Listen, this has nothing to do. It's not even in the Dan LeBatard
Don't
world.
even think of it.
It's not even in that universe. We started a new pod today
Yeah.
called God Bless Basketball.
And you'll be our first guest.
God Bless Hoops.
Pay the mic flags, no mind.
Yes.
It
Do not
is-
pay attention to
Yeah.
what you see in front of the curtain.
Yeah. I really genuinely hope by the time that airs, he's on a different team.
You stop.
I'm
What?
done with it.
Oh, okay.
He's got
listen.
incredible Miami
Okay,
Heat golf bag.
You guys are because you've all said bad things
I
about
have
Kyle.
never
Wait,
said
no,
a bad
you,
word about
I
Kyle.
did
But
when he
you-
was in Toronto.
I've watched Heat games with you guys.
Yeah.
I've seen the frustration. I've read your tweets. All right, and I become the face of this, and it's fine. I'll
You
be
are the
whatever.
face of this.
I'll be whatever Gotham needs me to be. But understand that it wasn't a hot take
That's a champion.
to be frustrated with Kyle Lowry over his time with the Miami Heat.
Mike, the only time I took him
It was a
out was
relatively easy take. I'm not doing something avant-garde here.
he's a champion
He is a
Yeah,
champion.
he was a champion. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
because of Kawhi Leonard.
Monsters.
I didn't say
You
Toronto.
monsters.
I'm telling you.
He's a very nice man. He actually went through a lot that people don't know about, and he's very tough, and he played well in the playoffs. Right now, my thing isn't even our previous history together. My thing is I see Damian Lillard, and I see a contract that matches
Right.
up, and I see a point
Yeah,
guard
but-
for point guard deal.
I understand that now, but what was your excuse like months ago when you were trashing
He was
him?
bad.
Okay, but he was good in the playoffs.
He's bad, and he's a big contract. He's had a great career.
When you
I mean,
stand next
admittedly,
to
at the
him,
end of it-
actually, it is like he's not very big.
He's in unbelievable shape.
Like
Yeah.
I know, but he's not tall. So
Right.
it's like
he's a point guard.
the fact that he's been like a 5 or 6 time All-Star.
To be able to,
probably.
Yeah.
to
No,
withstand
he's
the
in-
amount of
he's in the Hall of Fame.
physicality
He is a Hall of
that
Famer.
he has over the span
because
of
everyone
his
gets
career.
into that Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Well, that's also true.
I didn't say
See,
that.
I'm not saying
I,
that.
I,
That
didn't-
is true.
I mean, DeRozan's probably getting it.
DeRozan is probably a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely
Ah,
fair.
man, that's
Wow, that's a
borderline.
borderline.
I mean, win a ring, both of you, without Kawhi. I mean,
Yeah.
so, was Kawhi was
Well,
DeRozan on
well,
that
DeRozan-
team?
DeRozan
wasn't.
was
That was
off.
Right,
so
he went there.
That's the strike
Right, he went
against him.
there.
Right.
Right.
Outside of his field goal percentage.
A little mellow ball
I
there.
can talk about him. He's not here.
DeRozan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
or
that's, how,
Miami.
that's how you get back in good graces. Just
Yeah.
trash his best friend.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
We used to have such a great relationship too with Kyle and DeRozan.
You want me to sew this
Kyle
up
was
for
a
you?
great
Are you
beautiful
interested in being
butterfly.
friends with Kyle again?
I'm
Because I'll
not.
patch it up. For
I'm
you.
not
Yeah,
fake.
we could patch it
I'm
up.
not fake. How many more members of the Miami Heat from this last season do I have to apologize face to face to?
I'm going to tell him.
Seems like a
listen,
lot of them.
Yeah.
Mike has been saying for years that Kawhi does not win a ring without you, and then boom, you're friends.
You're so shallow.
I am.
Like, see,
I didn't call the audience though.
yeah,
That's also true.
it's quippy. Very mean.
All right. So is Kyle coming on or what?
I would hope so.
I would think that we're going to
Look.
be able to get him. We just got to sell him on God Bless Basketball. That's all.
I do live the gimmick from being also to. I've said some things about Aaron. And I've said some things about Kyle that isn't too flattering, and I'm not going to fake it. I can't be Stugotz. I'm not shameless like that. I'll just be like, yeah, this is probably not going to work out, but we have other options on the menu for you.
I've only said one bad thing about Aaron, and I told him right to his face.
Yeah.
That's why I think he respects it.
Yeah. No.
Like I told him, like
Mm-hmm.
the COVID stuff hurt me because
Yeah.
of what happened to my
No,
mom, and
no.
he was,
Right.
I know
he was-
we
he
lost
was
loved
heartbroken
yeah.
about it.
We lost loved ones because
Yeah.
of that whole thing. Boy, I'm going to stop myself right now before because we got the big fish on the line. All right.
Oh no,
Easy
he's coming on.
quarterback.
Stop now.
coming.
yeah,
we're done.
yeah.
No Dan.
But it is fun being out there as a first timer to also have to kind of take some faces out of context now and put them in a golf hat, some sunglasses, a polo.
It's hard to tell who's who.
It's
somehow.
a little
Yes.
hard to tell. who's
Everyone
who.
looks so handsome
Everyone
too.
looks great.
Yes.
It's
yes.
amazing.
It's like, is that Mike Modano? Is that Chase Crawford? Is that Miles Teller?
I had a Chase Crawford faux pas where I thought it was him, then I wasn't sure if it was him, and then by the time I was
no
able to walk
one
up
else
to him,
has
he's
those
gone.
cheekbones though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he looked great.
Madonna, Madonna
Madonna's
looks
put together.
good.
Mhm.
Ooh, Madonna, I might take a flyer on Madonna.
Yeah.
Win
Does
this
look
thing.
good.
Let me tell
He's
you,
a good golfer.
Madonna's
together,
a great
man.
golfer.
He's in contention a lot here.
Madonna is guaranteed like top 8.
Right.
Guaranteed.
I think he's a good
top 8.
flyer pick for us.
Yeah.
Because he looks good today.
Yeah.
Like
He's in
good.
form.
Yeah.
It's the hockey players. Look, hockey players have a reputation about them, and we're gonna have a couple hockey players on the show this week. Hopefully, I know that we planted seeds with T.J. Oshie,
We did.
author of one of the greatest American moments of all time. It's like that, and like Sluger body slamming Yokozuna on July 4th.
That's exactly
They're
like that.
probably the
Yeah.
two most American moments ever.
Right.
And hockey players always start off great, but hockey players have a bit of a reputation on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Slowing down.
Well, the weekend catches up to them
They
a
do.
little bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hockey player reputation precedes them.
They
Yeah.
treat everything like they've just won the Stanley Cup.
Well, it's just
Right.
it's just quantifiable. Why are they so good on day one? Yeah, but Joe Pavelski was in the playoff last year. He was in it with Romo and Mulder. Ended up losing to Tony Romo. T.J. Oshie, I think, was among the leaders in day one last year. Alex Killorn is someone that you have to look out. We talked about him some. He's a great golfer.
Mhm.
He's been trying to get in this tournament a bunch, and now he's finally in it. And if you see his YouTube videos, the guy was like, he's as good at golfing as he is at hockey. And that's the amazing thing about seeing these world-class athletes
Yep.
out here. Like, Canelo is a natural at it. And he just started
I
golfing
love-
like 4 years ago.
A little fist bump with him. You saw that, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you say hey champ?
I did.
Yeah, you got it.
What
Interesting
else do you
thing, though.
say?
Yeah.
Canelo's like Stu's height. He's
Yeah.
not a big guy. I mean, a big
Well,
guy.
I mean
huge
that's
guy.
they have weight
Monster.
classes.
It's really unbelievable, though.
Yeah,
It's inter-
that's why they have weight classes.
Well, no, I understand. But
Yeah.
I expected to be blown away by the size of Canelo Alvarez and was just,
Yeah, he's tiny,
not a huge man.
but he'll kick everyone's ass
Yes, he
here
will.
at one time,
Yep.
all at once.
Watching him talk to David Wells was a fun experience, and just seeing the
Two
dichotomy between those
world-class
athletes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Both-
can mean a very different
So-
thing.
David
So I
Wells threw a
asked-
perfect game.
I told Wells,
Right.
I wanted to give Wells a night to think about it. I told him the game we're going to play with him tomorrow. Clemens or Beckett, game for your life.
Oh,
He blurted out his answer right away. I'm not going to tell the audience,
ooh.
but I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised.
We all-
And he also said he will scream it as loud as possible, especially if the person he doesn't pick is sitting right here.
We also saw a friend from last year in the Miz, and that allows you to play the great game of Miz or Misn't.
How'd you know? All right, we are back on the inflatable couch. This is a big-time moment right here. Our first guest of the week, well, second guest of the week. Andrew Whitworth is going to join us.
Oh, God.
It actually did the thing.
We bumped us up.
We did it that way. I was fully expecting when you jumped on, the three of us would just go that way.
Fly in the air.
I was a little concerned. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, this is actually pretty strong.
Yeah, this is comfortable now.
We're planning on actually taking this into the lake by week's end.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you down to be our guests on the lake?
You know what? If I hit it close on 17, I think I'll jump in there with you.
You've been working
That's
hard.
fun.
You've been working harder
Whitworth,
than almost
you've been out here all day.
anyone.
I've been grinding, man. Here's the thing. It can't get any worse, right? So if you just practice, hopefully it gets a little better. That's my philosophy.
The galleries here get a little intimidating, especially on 17 when you got the DJ blaring and everyone's just over on you. And you have a lot of legitimately good golfers that don't have to deal with that stuff. And their first time out here, they all of a sudden start feeling it a little bit.
You get a little tight. When you get on the tee boxes, it gets a little tight. My first year here on the opening tee box, my family got way down on the right side. The opening shot's like a cut shot. I'm waving at them like, no, like I am not that good. Like, move.
Get out of the way.
Get the kids and get behind everyone else.
Wait, so you feel that because you played in front of 100,000 people? Like I was telling Mike before, it's White Freeney. He told me he's a really good golfer. I played with him before. Freeney's on his game. He has a chance at winning this thing. But last year was his first year here, and he said he was intimidated by the galleries. And I'm like, you guys played in front of 80,000 people before.
Yeah, that ball doesn't move, though. We're used to, like, being able to use a little energy and adrenaline and chasing it a little bit. That thing just sits still, and you get to moving when the adrenaline's up. So it gets a little hairy. I've always said, when I come in here, when I leave here, if I haven't hit anybody or hurt anybody, it's been a great week, and I'm looking forward to coming back.
Maybe you got to start raising your expectations because I'm a terrible golfer, and those are that's my floor.
Listen, that's
Just don't kill
some
anyone.
of these fans kind of piled in there like we're playing on the tour, and this is not that.
No.
Okay? If you sit out here on this range long enough, you're in danger sitting right here on this couch. So
It's funny
you'll
that
know it.
It's funny that. Look, you've had this great career, champion, Hall of Famer, but when you're
I called you a top 20 tackle of all time.
I think it's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally fair. Especially of this era. Like you and Joe Thomas are the first names that come to mind from this era. But you've played in Super Bowls. You've made it to the very top of that profession. And I imagine maybe a little nervous, but not the same kind of nervous because you're not as confident in your game on this playing field.
There's no doubt. When the energy gets up and there's fans around, there is an element to being an athlete. You get fired up. And I know for me, like I've actually played better sometimes when I'm here just because of that. But when the shots get a little tight and you start losing it a little bit and the energy's up and there's people all around, for whatever reason, that ball shrinks down. It feels like a dime that you're trying to hit instead of a golf ball.
How'd you do last year?
You know, last year was rough. Here's the thing. I played really good the year before. It's a lot harder to play, believe it or not, when you're holding a Lombardi in one arm and like a drum in the other.
Yeah.
So
Humble brag.
you know the Super Bowl ring messed my shot up a little bit. I think that's what it was.
A little
It
Super
was
Bowl
different.
hangover.
It was weird to hold the club with the ring on there.
Right?
Yeah,
With the
Louis.
Lombardi, right?
That's at least the excuse I've come up with.
You have
great.
quite possibly the largest calves I've ever seen in person.
Close second, man.
Compared to
You guys
Stugotz,
actually,
though.
it's
Just
weird.
we're all
man.
one shape.
Yeah.
But
It's my
anyways,
best
okay.
feature.
You haven't
I mean,
seen
come
that
on.
meme? It's just like I go to the gym every day, work out legs. 45-year-old dad that's never actually gone to the gym and their calves are just immense. Like you don't skip leg day though. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big walker. A lot of walking. So I do a lot of walking, and you get your calves game gets good when you're walking a lot.
You want to go for a jog tomorrow? I went for a 40-minute
No
jog
jogs.
today.
Listen, they got to pay me to jog now. Okay?
Wait, do you miss anything about football? Is there anything you miss about the NFL?
You know, I miss chasing to be really good at something. Outside of that, no. I don't want to hit anybody. I don't want anybody to hit me. Please don't touch me. I mean, it's hard even when my kids jump on me now. No contact's the best.
So you miss the competition.
Oh, but when you miss chasing, like, when
Yeah.
you're an offensive lineman, obviously you're figuring out a way to stop this guy, and that chase of figuring out how to be technically as good as you can possibly be and great in the big moments. That's what I miss.
Do you actually chase that high in golf?
Yeah, except for 6'7", 330 helps in football. Doesn't necessarily help
Right.
you much on the golf
No.
course.
You're never
Right.
going to find that high.
Yeah,
again.
there's not. I always love when you're like, oh man, I see this little guy who hits the ball so far. He's much smaller than you. I'm like, have you ever seen a PGA Tour player? None of those guys are huge guys.
Yeah.
They're all smaller guys.
Right.
So it does not play into your advantage to be a big human on the golf course.
How many teams knocked on your door seeing if you'd reconsider last year?
I wouldn't say the teams as much as guys in a locker room may shoot a text like, hey, big fella, like, would you come out and play with us, that kind of deal. Plenty of that type stuff. But, I halfway into the year I started thinking, like, maybe, like, all right, maybe I would join a team in the playoffs. Like, maybe. And then
Did you ever get close?
Well, here's what happened. I went in the living room. I'm watching NFL on a Sunday. Obviously we're on Thursday nights. I'm home for the weekends. And my son Michael's playing defensive end in his little 11-year-old league. I'm like, hey, let's take a couple. He gets off one time, and I literally, like, wasn't in a good position for my son to get off the ball. And I was like, you know what? Like, I can't do it. My knee literally never moved. Like, I was like, I thought I moved, but my feet never moved. And I was like, you're done. You're absolutely done.
You got beat by your kid.
Your
Michael Lee
11-year-old
torched me.
Your 11-year-old might have altered NFL history depending on the team that you were considering.
There's no doubt. He definitely torched me. So I don't know if as much as his athletic ability as I couldn't move anymore. So,
Right.
But either way, it was a very humbling moment to realize you're done.
But that sealed it for life. Meaning, like if someone comes knocking again, let's say the Jets come knocking, week 8 with Aaron Rodgers, or Aaron calls you. What are you going to say?
No chance. Listen, they see me try to get up out of a chair, they'd know it's over.
I can't believe your 11-year-old
specifically.
I mean, me getting out of this couch is worth
gonna be
filming,
hard.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, well, you should see. Stugotz is already complaining
Oh,
about
my
his
back
back.
hurts. I mean, listen, I have to have a built-in excuse when I play poorly on Thursday.
Oh, he's already setting the table.
I understand. I get it.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God, you
Your
can
back
use.
hurts?
Yeah, you can use this
can
as
now
your.
use
I've been
couch.
telling everybody the injuries I've had for the last 3 months since I got here.
I'm just gonna go to the sports book and start fading anyone that sits on this couch for the rest of it. You mentioned that you get a little tight because it's not what you excelled at in your athletic career. Now you're in media. Does that kind of apply to the media game? You're a natural. And you were told that even while you were playing, that this would be a natural progression.
You
You're
were
very
on with
good.
us when you were playing. We told you on the air.
Yeah, but
did.
did you get any nerves entering the media game?
I really didn't. I think for me it was more the thing I think about is like as being obviously in into my career, there's been guys who young players who may have gone to a team that I just didn't play the last couple of years, and so it's like when you get up there and you're talking and you're like, all right, I know the guy, I know the jersey number, I know exactly how he plays, and then you're like in the moment you're like, oh my God, what's his name? Oh my God, that was what I'd get nervous about. It's like I just wanted to make sure that I didn't mess somebody's name up or misspeak about somebody's, past and history of school. Those kind of things, like, that would make me nervous. But talking about ball, I mean, I love the game. I love everything this game brings from a lot of different ways. I have such a passion for it. So talking about football, man, shoot, I'm at home doing that.
So it was heavily rumored last year that, as it is like the past few off seasons, that Sean McVay may take a sabbatical from coaching and join the media game. You obviously know Sean pretty well. Was he kind of asking you how you like the media game? Because I remember it got worked up to a point that it was actually a surprise that he came back to the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that for Sean, he's just so good at a lot of things when it comes to his intelligence level and being a coach. He's one of the rarest guys I've ever been around, but he also is really good with the media and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're no different than me when I was playing, it's like people start telling you, oh, you got to do this or that when you get done. And I think for Sean, it's always been like, man, you need to go be in the Monday Night Football booth. You need to go call primetime football because you just have that electric personality. So I think naturally, just as human beings, if we start struggling or going through some adversity in one thing, you start thinking like, hey, would I want to do that? And would that be something I'd want to venture into? And I think for him, it was just really last year was such a surprise for their football team and their whole organization how bad it went. And it's probably just something to where in his moments, it's like, man, do I want to keep doing this? Do I still have a passion to chase this? Or would I rather step away and do something else that I'd have a passion to do? And I think inevitably he said, you know what, I'm a football coach and I want to do this.
But is he a lifer? Like, is he a guy like who's going to be doing this into his 70s? Or is he a guy that you think, because family seems important to him, friends seem important to him, having fun seems important.
Are we going to do this every offseason where Sean McVay?
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, I could see McVay maybe 5 more years and then being done, and that's it. Like, I don't view him as like a Don Shula going into his 70s.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think that's the thing is that we forget sometimes how young he is, right? So it's like he is really young. I don't know if he's actually been a head coach long enough to like be like, all right, I want to do this for a long time or I don't, right? I mean, that's just the truth. That's how young he is. And so I think it's more of like I kind of always told him, I thought last year is like a surprise. You didn't expect to be bad, right? This year you signed up and hey, look, we have some cap casualties that are going to happen. We've had to make some trades. We're going to have a really young football team. I always look at it like this. Young coaches like that, you signed up for this season right here knowing there's going to be adversity in front of you. You're going to find out if you love freaking football when you get into next year and it's like, man, we are trying to figure out ways to win a game rather than expecting to win. And I think that'll really tell him, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my career or not.
well, you've been taking this tournament seriously. You've been practicing a lot. We've seen it already today. But you also seem to have a pretty relaxed nature about you in general. Are there any guys out here who you've sort of tried to kind of chum up with or anything, and it's like, hey, I'm here to win. I'm here too focused, ready to go, ready for what this tournament's going to be. And
you know,
Tony Romo.
I do love
Tony Romo. Anyone other than Tony Romo?
Yeah, right.
Most people are pretty relaxed. I do love it when I see like the golf coaches and like the gear and the devices start getting broke out on the range. That's like my favorite part.
The Miz is ridiculous.
Oh man, they got all the devices, all the stuff attached to them. They're doing, and like I even have like I messed around with like the Pro Sender deal. That's kind of a big deal right now. And I was like, you know what? There's no way I can hit a golf ball on this range and ever live it down if I put that thing on. So I'll wait till I'm back in Sherwood to strap it on the range. But you know what? I enjoy watching all the gadgets and the gurus come out when they get on this range.
And the fashion show.
Oh yeah.
They should just make this a catwalk with some of the get-ups out here.
There is definitely some guys who took probably a 3-4 week window of ordering online of like the gear they were going to wear for each day.
Yep.
They have a Tuesday, Wednesday Pro-Am attire, and then as soon as the tournament kicks up, it's a whole new level.
How'd you go about it? Tell us.
I usually plan the shoes. I'm definitely going to rock my Jordans. I always, you can't buy golf shoes when you're wear SS17.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
get
have
them all
use,
custom.
I used to have golf kicks where I got to screw in my own cleats. So I get me some Jordan basketball shoes and screw in my own golf cleats.
Oh, that's great.
Nobody makes 17s for the big fellas. So,
But the rest of just kind of threw into a suitcase last minute, right?
yeah, I have some buddies. It's that favor thing, right? You get like a million texts like, "Hey, I got a golf line. Will you wear my polo on Tuesday?" Or, "Hey, I got this. Will you wear it on Thursday?" It's like, sure. So I got enough buddies that I'll be rocking some gear.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you dress like the way that we saw Miles Teller out here earlier.
No, I can't. You know what? Listen. I got to be careful with like patterns and colors. I'll look like your bedspread and real quick. Like I'll look like a comforter on a king size bed fast in a big polo.
Good, play good.
Play
good.
You get a 3XLT in one of those patterns, man. I'm going to look like something on your bed in the hotel
We'll just
room.
lay you right back down here on this couch.
Yeah.
You are. Listen. You're not good at this. You're great at this.
You're awesome at
I
this.
cannot believe your son beat you.
I can't believe your son changed NFL history. Potentially.
It's amazing.
Changed it.
What news?
Thank you so much, Whit, for joining us.
Hey, appreciate
Best
it,
of luck.
fellas. Anytime.
Good luck this week, man.